Happy Friday, happy Friday, happy Friday, happy Friday. Hey everyone, it's your girl Hennither Bianca. Thanks so much for tuning in. Listen, I won't be long today, okay? But it has been a while. For those of you that are part of my community, you know lots of big things have happened in my life. If you want to know what has happened, make sure you check out our Facebook group and our LinkedIn group. You will see the biggest announcement that we had this year. But I won't belabor on that. Hello, everyone. If this is your first time watching, my name is Hennither Bianca Gant, and I help HR professionals turn their HR skills into a profitable business. I have a company. I'm the founder of Career Image Solutions, where we also assist, teach, empower career professionals as well as employers on how to get hired and to hire the right way. So if you want more information by chance about if you're an HR professional, you want to make sure you go to kingdomhr.biz. If you happen to be an employer or a career seeker, you want to check out career-image.com. All right, now that that's out the way, we are about to approach 2021. I actually just did a Facebook Live about this. So I wanted to hop on here to make sure that you all had the same information because I did not stream in both places. So I wanted to make sure that you were not left out, okay? But the bottom line is, listen, COVID-19 has brought a number of things our way. But one of the things is that what I shared in my Facebook Live was that you can look at it two ways. You can say, oh my gosh, that all of this happened to me, or you can say, oh my gosh, all of these things keep happening to me, right? And I tend to be the latter. I tend to be the person who's like, hey, listen, this is an adversity. How can we figure out a solution to that, right? So that's who I'm really looking for. I'm really looking for those individuals that see this as an opportunity. You know that I answered the question. There were many of you that asked me, "Hey, is COVID-19? Should I really be starting a HR consulting company in COVID?" And of course, my answer to a lot of things is always, "Hey, it depends, right? It depends on who you're targeting. It depends on the services that you're offering." But I'm like, regardless of what that is, I still think that if God puts something in your heart to do, you might as well do it, because sometimes you don't know what's on the other end of obedience. So you might as well just obey. What's the worst that can happen? What do you have to lose? Just at least start. You don't have to know the destination to begin the journey, right? So I remember answering those questions a whole lot. So bottom line is that these few days that we have left in 2020, it is critical that you do something towards getting your HR business positioned. If you are not positioned, you will not be able to prosper in 2021. What do I mean by that? If you don't, if your company, if your consulting services are not going to be offered, then nobody's going to know to, hey, call you to hire you, right? Think about it as a job applicant. How are people going to know that you're available for work? How do they know that you're available for work? Sometimes people just ask you, but more than likely you have to open your mouth. You have to show up, right? You have to show up. You got to show up online. You have to submit your resume. You have to ask questions. All of those things. So you got to get you got to get yourself positioned. There's some of you that already have incorporated your companies. There's some of you that are going to be working independently. There are differences between both, but regardless of what it is, take your next step. So some of the tips that I wanted to share with you all that can help you get positioned for 2021. Again, you all know me by now. I am long-winded. I love to talk, and this list could be really, really long, but it's not going to be. Promise. First thing is, write the vision. If you're part of our newsletter, you already saw the last newsletter, and I put this in there as well because in Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 2, it talks about you writing the vision, making it plain. Listen, I know people like to quote that, and write the vision, make it plain, write the vision, make it plain. But the bottom line is, seriously, I mean, there's even scientific evidence surrounding this, right? That if you write things down, you are more likely to achieve it. And listen, y'all, I'm a witness. I'm a big witness. I love to write things down. I love to journal. I love to go back. I like to make sure that I have planning days. I mean, all of these things have helped me become or move to the next level of success. Haven't attained the optimum level of success in my company just yet, but it's definitely helped me along the way just simply by writing it down, right? So writing it down, write the vision, make it plain. Seriously, do not keep it all up here. If you're anything like me, you might be a visionary, you might be a big strategic thinker. That's me. I'm a big strategy person, and if I keep it in my head, I'm going to forget. I tell people all the time, if you're not on my calendar, it is. It might as well have just been a dust in the wind, because I'm not going to remember. I'm not. I am a mother of 5, a whole wife. I got a whole business with team members. If it's not on my calendar, it's not happening. It's not happening. Okay. So beyond that, another tip that I gave was ask for help. Oh my goodness, ask for help, which is why I made this first tip the first tip, because if you're not writing it down, if you don't know what you want, well, first of all, if you don't know what you want to do in your HR consulting company, I strongly recommend that you get a clarity session with me. You want to book that ASAP, right? Because that's one thing that you have to do before 2021 is to get clear, right? I mean, listen, is the world over if you don't do it before 2021? No. But really, essentially, I'm talking to those of you that have been on the fence this entire year. You saw my programs come out. You saw the first one come out. You saw the second one come out. You've been like, I've been watching you, Hennither, and I still haven't done anything. I've been watching all your videos. I would like each one of them. I've watched them several times. I'm really talking to those of you. If you're just finding me, I'm not just talking to you. I'm not talking to you about that. There's no there's no chastisement if you get started in January. In fact, I do have an upcoming course in January, by the way, for those of you that have not worked with me yet. If you're looking to work with me to get your HR business started, I'll share more of those details at the end of the video. But if you don't know what you want to do, I strongly suggest that you get a clarity session. You have got to get clear. That's one of the first things. Get clear as to what you're going to do. What services are you going to offer? You know, those type of things. Just get clear, right? 30 minutes, 45 minutes, maybe an hour, and we can kind of just walk through that. But the second thing is, again, asking for help. But the challenge is that many of us stay silent watching behind the scenes. Many of us stay getting educated and trained up, right? Without implementing anything because we don't know what to ask for. That was me. Listen, everything that I'm giving you, I've already gotten. That's the reason why I can pour out, because I've been poured into. Okay. So I don't want you to think that I'm just like you. No, it was me. And sometimes it's still me, right? But asking for help is super critical, super critical. Do not mind asking for help, and don't feel like you have to be the one doing everything. I know that there is that myth of like, oh, when you first get started, you have to wear 18 gazillion hats. You will have to wear multiple hats. But honey, listen, there are just some things that you should not be doing. That is a true waste of your genius time. Okay. So, man, we'll be getting into that in January. Those of you that are taking my course, you know what I'm talking about, right? So you want to make sure that you're asking for help. But here's my little caveat, please. Do not be cheap. Do not mind paying for help. Okay? There's something powerful that happens when you invest in yourself. When you invest in yourself, you are now giving yourself permission. You're now giving others permission to invest in you as well. But if you are always looking for a discount, you're always looking for something free, then what's going to happen is that you are mentally preparing yourself to also do things free for other people all the time. And that, my friend, is a hobby and not a business. Whether you're trying to build an HR side hustle or an empire. Either way, I've been through the whole gamut and I can help you through it. But I'm telling you, there is something powerful about investing in yourself. Whether you're paying someone to do your graphic design, whether you're paying someone to, review your emails, to answer you, whatever it is, whatever the amount is too. Right. So just be mindful of that. Again, can you do some things for people? Yeah, absolutely. When the Lord leads me, I totally do. But you can't, that can't be your ministry. That can't be your ministry. Hello, hello, hello. I have some questions. Love it. Oh, awesome. Hey, listen, I don't know how, is it Mashasta? Make sure you connect with us. Kingdomhr.biz. If you want to email us right away, it's services@career-image.com. Okay. We are changing that email address soon. So if you end up watching this in January, that email address will change. So to be safe, make sure you just go to kingdomhr.biz. But of course, I look forward to connecting with you. And for those of you watching live or you watch the replay, you all know I answer all of my I answer all of you. I don't have anybody else reviewing the comments. Nobody else answers the comments. I love this stuff. I love being able to work with HR professionals and helping them turn their HR skills into a profitable business. So by all means, feel free, comment, let me know what questions you have. Anything I could do to assist you in your journey is what I am here for. All right. So thanks so much for commenting. Yes, if you're watching live, make sure, let me know. Let me know what you need. So asking for help is the second thing that I would say that you need to do to be positioned to position your HR company in 2021. Okay. And again, asking for help, but don't mind paying for it. Okay. Because again, I'm telling you, investing in yourself is super, super, super crucial. What's another tip? Collaboration. Oh my goodness. So if you're part of our newsletter already, you would have seen that the last few newsletters had some HR consulting opportunities because I believe in collaboration. Listen, when I first started my HR company, I was working full time, for those of you that know my story, right? But I quickly realized that there were certain clients that I could work with and certain clients that I could not work with while having a full-time job, a whole child, and going back to grad school. Listen, I didn't have the capacity for all of that, right? So I had to collaborate to make sure that clients were still being serviced. So what did that mean? That means that I met my whole husband. He was doing resumes. And I'm like, hey, can you take care of my resume clients? And I'm going to be helping these business clients, right? I mean, I was super pumped too, right? Like I'm just getting started and I still have my good old federal government job. I didn't think that I needed to leave. I was like, I could do it all. And you can still do that and still work. But the calling of my life was just a little different. And, a few years later, with the encouragement of my husband and the direction of the Lord, I ended up leaving my full-time job, replacing my full-time income, having additional staff members. The journey was not always easy. However, it is so worth it. And I cannot imagine if I didn't make that leap. And now I am able to work with so many of you across the world in starting their own HR consulting businesses, because we truly are superstars and we impact the lives of so many people. I promised not to digress, and I just did, but hopefully you hear my heart. Okay. Collaboration. So again, collaboration is key because you're not going to be able to do everything, and you should not want to do everything. If you are that type of person that's like, I don't want people knowing what I'm doing, like, you need to talk to me so I can get you out of that funk. Because you're not going to be successful, honestly. There's going to be a level of success that's capped if you don't collaborate, right? So what are you going to do when another client comes your way and you already have 4? You're going to just be like, oh, I can't work with you? No. Go and call someone else that you know. Collaborate with other HR professionals, right? As long as you have the right agreements in place, you'll be fine. And people are people. So yeah, there's some people that you might find out didn't mean you well. So what? That's life. You move through that. You move forward. Hello again to all of you that are watching live. I see some of you watching live. Hello, hello. Make sure you comment below. I'm just giving you all some tips. And I'm here, honestly, to answer any questions that you might have on what you can do to position your HR consulting company for 2021. I'm dancing like this because my children are asleep. One is in virtual school and the rest are taking a nap. So you got me. Those of you that are live, you got me. Better take advantage of this time. All right. So I talked about writing the vision down, writing your goals down. That's super critical. I talked to you about asking for help and do not mind paying for it, right? Don't mind paying for it, right? I talked to you all about collaboration. Again, there's a whole, that's a whole module, believe it or not, in my upcoming course. Hire yourself, turn your HR skills into a profitable business. That course is coming up this January. That's actually going to be a live course, meaning I will be with you. Yay! It's going to be hybrid. You'll be with other HR professionals going through that course. It's going to be 6 weeks of intense fun, walking you through literally the A to Z's, how to get started, how you should structure your business, how to get clients, how to determine which services to offer, what price you should charge, how to collaborate, the documents and agreements you should have in place, how to market your company, the whole nine. Okay. So if you are interested, the waiting list is actually going to be released very, very soon. So you want to be mindful of that. Get on our newsletter to make sure that you know about that right away. But if you happen to catch this video, you want to, before all of that comes out, you want to make sure you email the team. And again, I'll put that email address in the description box below. Okay. But so let me go ahead and transition. So the next step, the fourth step or fourth tip rather, that I have for you to position yourself, your HR consulting company for 2021 is to show up. Listen, you got to show up. Hey, I see, you know what? I see your question. Hopefully you can stay on with me. I'll address that in just a second, okay? Any questions that you all may have, go ahead and put them below, okay? So you want to show up. You want to show up. Listen, a few years ago, a few people that I started working with, because initially I was only working with people one-on-one. Helping people one-on-one, doing strategy sessions for like maybe 4 hours or 8 hours at a time, or over a period of 3 weeks. We're working together. And one of the things, the feedback that I received was just like, oh, especially in terms of how to get new clients. I had so many different tips for them. But now, 2020 and going into 2021, if you are not online, it's not going to work. I would not have said that a few years ago. Now, here's what I'm saying to you. Can you still have a successful business without being online? I'm going to be bold. I'm going to say no, not in this climate. Hey, I'm glad you caught me live too. Yeah, I was just taking a chance, right? I'm glad I caught you live. So listen, if you have any questions, go ahead and make sure you comment below. I'll stay on for a little bit. If you all keep the questions coming, I'll stay on. If you all stop the questions, then I'll hop off, because I told y'all the kids are sleeping. So, but again, a few years ago, if you would have asked me, I'm like, oh no, you don't have to be online to have a successful business, because the reality is that I didn't have a really strong online presence. I mean, my website sucked. And social media marketing was like, I just hired a social media person to help me, right? With Career Image Solutions, right? So I like to do things like that. I like to be able to show up. I'm that person, right? I like to, I'm a teacher at heart. So to administratively come up with content to write is just, can you see my face? It's just not, oh my gosh, it's so not my genius zone. It's just not. So, but the reality is that now I would not work with anyone and not give them advice to show up online. You have to show up online in 2020, 2021. You have to. And I have so many testimonies as a result of me just putting one post. Even the last cohort that I worked with, one of the things that, and we talked about that in a whole module, I actually brought in a marketing expert on one of our live sessions. So something very similar will be happening. Again, for those of you that are just joining, I am having an upcoming course in January. I'll put the information in the description box below. But I mean, she was even saying it. But the reality is that there's so many opportunities that are endless. And because we are in this complete virtual climate, and I do believe that it's going to get even more virtual, if that's a word, more virtual, you have to show up online. Like, if people don't know that you exist, How they gonna pay you? They can't pay you. Okay? They can't pay you. Right? So obviously there's some other strategies that you can put in place. But in addition to those strategies, what I'm saying is you gotta show up online. Okay. People need to know what you are doing. Even before you start your company, people need to know what you're doing. Right. That's one of the things that I share up front. We have 9 modules in this upcoming course. And before the 9 modules even start, I have a whole video sharing what you should do before the 9 modules. So you know I'm a teacher at heart. But one of those things is letting people know what you will be surprised. I mean, that's one of the things I'm still going through my warm list because I immediately thought externally when it was time for me to start my business, who's out there that needs me? Forgetting that I had a whole community of people that I could go to internally that could send me to another person that needed me. And where are those people right now? Your social media pages. Now, there's some of you watching like, I'm not on Facebook. I'm not on. Listen, you better get on something. Okay. You ain't gonna say I didn't tell you. Let's take a break and look at some questions here. Awesome. Oh, yeah, you're welcome. Woo. How do you get your first 5 clients? Again, I don't know if you were here in the beginning, but it really does depend. We'll probably need to talk about what services you're offering, the industry that you're in, and what type of clients. I'll tell you how I got my first 5 clients though. Okay. So if you know anything about my story, I started out as just offering services to job seekers, right? So for me, it was a matter of, because I was in HR, people automatically came to me and asked me for help with their resumes because they knew I was in HR. So it was a matter of me, and I didn't charge, right? I didn't know how to charge. I was afraid to ask people for money. That's not my issue anymore. No, but seriously, I mean, I did that for years. Oh my goodness. So when people were asking me to do their resumes, I would do them and they were getting jobs. They were getting interviews and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. This is a whole thing. This is a whole thing. And listen, I was that girl who sold lollipops, who sold blow pops. I bought a bag for $2 and I would sell it to make profit. I was that girl. So I was always an entrepreneur. I had to kind of look back over my life like, oh my gosh, I've always kind of been a businesswoman, right? But I didn't know that. I knew I would go in business, but I didn't know that I would do HR as a business, right? So let me see. I told you I digress. Hey, listen, I digress and I talk a lot. Either you're going to like me, you're going to like me. So going back to offering resume services, what ended up happening is that because they were getting results, then it was starting to be in word of mouth, word of mouth, word of mouth, word of mouth. Now for my first business client, I got that first business. Oh my goodness, bringing back memories. I got my first business client because I was doing some other things with my church. I was part of the youth. I was over the youth ministry, and I started getting a little bolder. So mind you, I was still working my full-time job. This is before I launched out on my own, obviously, but I started getting really bold and started advertising my services. So it was like on bulletins. I'm telling you, I didn't know what I was doing. I'm trying to tell y'all because there was nobody out there. There were a lot of business people in business, but I couldn't find anybody that knew how to do HR business. And the people that had HR consulting companies, they weren't trying to give me the juice. It's like, I don't know. It was just weird. It was just really weird. So I started if I was going to an event, I would just literally I would talk to people about it. And if I knew they were a business owner, I would say, oh, by the way, I'm just letting you know that I'm getting my business started and blah, 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 blah. And I offer HR services. And some people didn't even know what HR services were, but literally that's how I was doing it. But again, that was in person, right? So again, something like that, an exchange like that can still happen in a virtual space, but there's just some different strategies that need to be put in place. And again, that's an entire module, and I bring in a marketing expert to help you through that. Okay. How did you get there? Let me see. So hopefully that gives you some insight. But like I said, in order for me to help you, if you're someone watching this and you're like, hey, I want to know how to get my clients, I encourage you to either enroll in my upcoming course, where I'll be working with you all live and you'll be with other HR professionals, or you reach out to us, reach out to the team, so that way you can figure out how to either to get on my calendar so we can work together one-on-one. Either way, both options are available. HR journalist looking to venture out on my own. I don't know where to start. I'm trying to determine my niche. Yeah. So I mean that's a critical piece. And believe it or not, that's a whole module as well, because I'm glad that you are there, right? Because the reality is that there's so many people who end up thinking that because you are this outstanding HR person, especially because if you're a generalist, you have a background like mine, right? Which means that that you've touched a little bit of everything in HR. There's nothing in HR that you need that I can't do, right? So you're probably one of those people, and you're like, man, what should I focus in on? What services should I provide? And that's a internal thing that you kind of have to pull out. There are some key, one of the things I like to always share, which hopefully might help you, is that just because you're good at something doesn't mean you're supposed to do it. I'll say that again. Just because you're good at something does not mean that you're supposed to do it. Awesome. So if you want to enroll and you want to get on that list, like I said, we're going to put out the waiting list. For those of you that have worked with me before, I like to keep the group tight, because I'm going to be working with you all one-on-one and in a group setting. So it just gets to be too much if it's too many people. So services@career-image.com. Go ahead and email the team so we can go ahead and put you out on the first registration email. So again, if you're a generalist, it is really hard, because it's like, oh my gosh, but I'm good at I could do all of those things well. But again, just because you're good at it doesn't mean you're supposed to do it. So I can braid hair, but at this point in my life, I'm no longer a struggling college student, right? I mean, when I was in college, y'all, listen, I had 5 hustles, and braiding hair was one of them. But just because I know how to do that doesn't mean that that's the thing I'm supposed to do. So that takes a lot of internal work, and it's going to take more than just this live to walk you through that. But hopefully, if you can kind of go through all of the things that you do really well, right, as an HR person, and then think about the things that you would want to spend your time on. See, so many times as an employee, you do what you're told, you do what you have to do. But as when you become your own boss, listen, you start to, in the beginning, you might not say no to everybody, even though you can. I wish I knew that earlier. But you have the autonomy now to say, I don't want to work with you. That doesn't align with my values. Boom. Y'all see how I did that? Because I just had to do that the other day. But you have that opportunity. So think about it in the perfect world with you having your HR consultant company, right? What are the services, or what are all of the things that you need to do, that you know how to do? I would suggest writing them all down. And then what are the things that you really would want to work on? I call it your genius zone. What are the things that, like, you know what? I'm good at that. I'm not trying to be doing that forever. I'm not really trying to be doing that for anybody else, right? So like I just gave that example with braiding hair. That thing in HR for me is recruiting. I am a big visionary. If you give me an idea, I got a whole plan for you. As a matter of fact, even if you don't have the idea, I got an idea. I'm telling you, that's the type of person I am. And we'll literally go from A to Z. Oh, that's what you want to do? Boom. Boom, 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 right? And that drives some people crazy. So I've learned to scale that back. But I learned that I want to be in the space of strategy. That's my genius zone, right? But if I am doing a lot of administrative work, like creating social media posts or like writing newsletter content. That's not my genius zone. Allow me to show up. If you allow me to show up in my genius zone, I'm definitely going to I'm showing up at 100%. Right? So those are the things that you want to look at. Recruitment is that thing for me. It's like, now I come up with a strategy for recruitment. If I have to do it, will I do it? Absolutely. But I think I did it for so long, for so many years. I'm like, I can't do it right now. So hopefully that helps you a little bit. Hopefully that helps you. What type of service to offer will make me stand out, be considered a value of service. So, I get this a lot too, especially with the HR professionals. The bottom line is that, listen, I know lots of HR folks. Okay. I'm part of an HR association as well. I know lots of HR folks. And what I'm here to tell you is that just because the person next to you could be doing the exact same thing, but it does not mean that their juice is the same, tastes the same as your juice. Meaning that whoever is assigned to you will find you. I'm sure I'm not the only person out here that can help you, right? I'm not the only person out here that can help you. But if there's something, if there's something connecting you to me, if you are integrity filled and you know that there's a higher calling on your life and that there's purpose and it's me, right? You're looking for someone that's like a little bit more corporate-y, you know what I mean? So there's something out here for everybody. So don't be so concerned about standing out. The very first thing you want to do, which is why I totally focus the course in my strategy sessions on the foundational things, because what I have found is that people, and again, I can only teach you what I've been through. I've made enough mistakes for all of us, which is the only reason why I can share things with you all now. When you try to just go straight ahead, get clients, but you don't have your payment systems together, you don't got your agreements together, you don't know what your services are, somebody come to you and ask you, you don't have no testimonials, right? Right? So the foundational things aren't together. So it's like you putting the cart before the horse. We got to get the foundation together. Once you get the foundation together, I'm telling you, it increases your confidence so much so that you start attracting new clients. I'm telling you what I know. Telling you what I know. I hope to see you in the course. Absolutely. Looking forward to working with you. This is truly, I never knew I would get so much excitement doing this. And this is something that just kind of happened. People just kind of started asking me, right? So I have my company, we're in it. I have staff. We have clients, but as a result of having a HR company, people just started asking, hey, how did you do this? Can you tell me how to start an HR company? Do you mind mentoring me? Things of that nature. So I literally just kind of put everything that I know and I just put it in a course, and so happy to be doing it. It's like, I'm so passionate about it. So here's the deal. I believe human resources is one of those professions that automatically gives you a seat at the table. Now, I understand that every employer gives you a seat, but most of us have an opportunity to influence whoever makes the ultimate decisions that impact hundreds and thousands of lives. So my goal is to get together hundreds and thousands of HR professionals that are filled with integrity and do not take their calling for HR for granted. Those individuals that are acknowledge that HR is not just a job, but it can be a ministry. Those are the people that I'm looking for. Because if those of us that are integrity filled are really having the seat at the table, that are really influencing the ultimate decision makers, could you imagine Enron still happening? Could you imagine things that happen at the White House still happening at the White House? Could you imagine what companies run the world? Could you imagine if you had people with integrity influencing the decisions that impacted the world? So that's what I'm hoping to accomplish by helping HR professionals turn their HR skills into a profitable business. And we're doing that all through our new company, Kingdom HR. Right? Kingdom HR. I've searched all over the internet. Some folks don't want to give you information. I'm telling you, that was me. That was another reason why I'm like, man, I'm big on that. However, I left the thing, I want it to be better. And because when I got started, again, there were people, I'm not going to say nobody wanted to help me. The people that did help me were individuals that had businesses. But again, and here's another thing. You can't just go to any old business event and get this information, because the HR business is so specific. We're not like an advertising company. We're not like any other industry. There's some similarities to some, but we're not like any other industry. So me too, when I tried to go and find some folks, I'm telling you, I couldn't find them. I searched all over, couldn't find nobody. Couldn't find nobody. Okay. I am capable of speaking proper English, by the way. So, but I'm glad that you found me. I'm hoping to connect. Listen, everyone, I don't think, are there any other questions? If there aren't any other questions, even if you're watching a replay, feel free to put the questions below. But if there aren't any other live questions, I'm going to go ahead and hop off and get some work done. I have to do talking about strategize for some of our business clients. But I look forward to connecting with you all. And again, I will be on here. Make sure you connect with us, though. So go to kingdomhr.biz. We're working on the website literally every week to make sure that it's updated, that we're giving you what you need. Do I just go? So the course is not open yet. It is about to be open. So the waiting list is about to open up. That's what I'm trying to say. So what I recommend that you do is to go to services@career-image.com, email the team, let them know that you're interested in getting on the wait list. So that way, as soon as we open up registration, you'll be the first one to be able to enroll. Okay, because we are keeping that limited. Sure, it's hire yourself, turn your HR skills into a profitable business. So what I would recommend that you all do is to make sure that you sign up for my newsletter. Okay, and the newsletter, matter of fact, I can put it in the chat really quick for those of you that are online. Someone go to that and let me know that I got that correct. So I just put it in a chat box. Go to the newsletter. That's another really quick way for you to make sure that you are being up to date with everything that we have going on. As a matter of fact, that information about the new course is coming out this weekend. So that's what I'm trying to give you all a hint. Definitely go and either email the team or hop onto this link to make sure that you subscribe to the newsletter, so that way you know about the course, because forgot what date the team is allowing people to actually enroll, but it's starting in January. Hopefully I answered your question. If I did not, feel free. I'm going to put some information in the description box below. Make sure you check that out. Thank you for those of you watching live. This was fun connecting with you all live. Are there any other questions before I leave? Any other questions before I leave? Okay. So listen, I look forward to connecting with all of you. Again, my name is Hennither Bianca Gant, and I teach HR professionals how to turn their HR skills into a profitable business, whether it's a side hustle or to build an empire. I'm going to help you every step of the way. I want you to connect with us by going to kingdomhr.biz. Kingdomhr.biz is where you can connect with us. All right. So look in the description box below for any other information about our upcoming course, Hire Yourself, Turn Your HR Skills into a Profitable Business. It is a 6-week course. This one is not self-paced. I actually show up with you online for 6 weeks where you will get access to an online platform with some courses for you to read ahead. And then I will be meeting with you and other HR professionals to kind of go through and to strategize with you one-on-one anything you need to know about taking your HR business, either starting it or taking it to the next level. So thank you all so much for watching, and don't forget to command your day. Have a good one, everybody.